Hey guys, after going back and watching the film and getting to dissect defensively what we felt like we did, I still feel like it was a really good effort by our defense, especially by our defensive players who absorbed a lot of information in 4 days, processed it, came out, played well. It was the first game in 2 years that we did not give up a touchdown pass, and so in itself right there was a little bit of improvement. I thought we was able to get a pass rush on the quarterback at times, get a little pressure, get him out of the pocket, get him moving his feet, get him off his spot. And I thought secondary-wise, some of the moves we made end up paying off, and we've got a couple of more moves that we're still playing with right now to make sure our guys are in the best position to be successful. But overall, considering the amount of time they had to put that in, I thought they did a nice job. I thought they played hard. I thought we played a lot of people. If you go back and you look at the game sheet from how many guys played, especially on the defense side of the ball, it's an awful lot of players, and that's really going to pay off as the season goes along throughout the course of the year. So we're building depth quickly by playing so many players, and that's been exciting. Trev Miller had an outstanding game. I think he had three sacks, a tackle for loss, another tackle. And he's got a motor that just really goes. And so he was our defensive MVP, along with Travis Crawford for the second straight week, had double-digit tackles. He had 10 tackles. The guy is playing really lights out for us right now, not just on defense but on special teams. And so we've got a lot of guys giving some good efforts. Offensively, as you know, Elijah became the second all-time leading rusher in school history. And I thought that was quite an accomplishment in itself for Elijah, and excited about his opportunities moving forward the rest of the year. He was our offensive MVP, and although I thought Anthony Jennings played exceptionally well for the second straight week, I even thought he built on last week. And as he continues to play in our system, he's going to get more comfortable, and I think he's even going to improve. But 2 straight games to open the season without a turnover, we might be the only team in the country that does that. A lot of times early in the year, you see teams putting the ball on the ground early, but we've come out and really done a great job of taking care of the football. Won the turnover battle because we got a turnover the other night, and then we had perfect ball security, so that was a big plus. Offensive line-wise, I feel like our offensive line took a big step forward the other night. I thought they played physical. I thought they played tough. Kevin Dotson was the MVP of the offensive line the other night. Very physical at the point of attack, and we've been talking about all year. We're big up front. We're even bigger up front with Kevin Dotson, and so I think that they're coming together nicely. Still work in process, but I think by the end of the year we're going to have an outstanding group right there. And then you look at our wideouts, a bunch of freshmen. Jamarcus Bradley ends up with 6 catches for 100 yards. And had that big first third down catch where he went up and flipped over backwards and brought it down and hung on to it. Just love seeing all these young players on the field making plays at a very high level. That was pretty encouraging. So overall, good win over an opponent that our alumni really wanted to defeat and wanted for us to play well against. And I was glad we could bring home a big victory versus McNeese State, a rivalry that goes back a long time. So, but I'll give them credit. They have an outstanding team. That team's going to be a good team this year, and we wish Coach Guidry and them the best of luck the rest of the year. Changing gears now, moving forward. Now, new season begins. Conference play begins for South Alabama coming to town. A team that really made a name for itself early in the year with going to Starkville and beating Mississippi State on the road, and so right off the bat they got a lot of people's attention with that victory. They've put together a team with a lot of newcomers. Defensively, don't have many returning starters. A lot of newcomers, a lot of guys in their that they've brought up through their program, but they've got a lot of new starters, I should say, defensively. And they've put that together with a new defensive coordinator and a new scheme, and they're off to a pretty good start. Really fast start. And last week fell to Georgia Southern. So I know they're going to be really hungry to come back over here and try to get back to playing the way they want to play. But they've got an outstanding tight end. I think one of the best tight ends in the country. Probably be a first-round draft choice in Gerald Everett. And if you look at the Mississippi State game, he just took over that game in the second half, especially the touchdown catch at the very end of the game to put him up. And so the guy is an extremely talented player. And their new quarterback, Dallas Davis, played exceptionally well against Mississippi State. I thought he looked like a heck of a competitor, threw a nice ball. And so they're going to have another fine football team again. I think Joey Jones does a great job there at South Alabama. And he'll have his team ready to play. The home team in this series has won the last four outings. Me and Coach Jones had even mentioned that the other day, this summer at the Sun Belt Conference meetings. And so we sure hope that lives up to fruition there. But it'll be a tough battle, and against a very tough team coming into Cajun Field on Saturday night. But we hope to build on the success we had Saturday, continue improving, and especially with these young kids getting more reps, and we're only going to get better as we move forward. So, any questions?
You mentioned the 0 turnovers from Anthony Jennings. That indicated he's managing the game well, but he also made some fantastic plays. The one where he went over the top for the touchdown, and it looked like he wanted to go for it on 4th down late in the game. What did you see from him in terms of leadership?
Well, he continues to be a heck of a leader, but the thing is, he's setting the standard for the rest of the team on how to prepare. Not just, all week long at practice, in meetings. And that's really is what separated himself from the rest of the quarterbacks. It's his preparation. And I'm hoping the young quarterbacks, Jordan Davis, has taken a lot of notes because he has set the standard in preparation, and it's paying off on game day. And not only is he doing a great job of taking care of the football, the running backs, receivers, everybody, you don't see balls bouncing around the ground with our guys. That's something we work. And when you emphasize something, normally you get results, and it's been great to have that.
What's Trev Miller's status on Saturday?
As of now, he's suspended for the first half of the game. I'm going to appeal it. Don't know if that is even possible to get the appeal, but still going to appeal it. I was disappointed in that because the kid was just playing hard, did not make any type of helmet-to-helmet contact at all. They said that they thought he tackled high. He tackled high, but the quarterback was falling down when he tackled him. So as he's falling, his level came down. And I just hate, penalize a kid for doing the wrong thing, being arrested. Penalize a kid for helmet to helmet. Penalize a kid for those type of things. Don't penalize a kid for giving 100%. Don't penalize him for doing that. Excuse me?
I'm sorry, I said Jeffries. I meant Kidd. You got Kidd at defensive end. Is part of that?
Well, just for us to have a 2 deep on both sides, Kidd moved out to the outside. That was even before there. Kidd is a guy that can swing both ways, but he'll definitely have to be there for the first half. But he was already going to play some end too.
What do you like about Tremaine Lightfoot that you got him ahead of Grenier?
Well, Grenier right now is questionable for this weekend. Had a slight injury at the end of the game, and he is questionable for this weekend. We'll know later in the week. Lonzo Brown looks like could be out for the year. He's getting an MRI today, and we will know something tomorrow.
Coach, you talked about how it's kind of a new season now. How do you approach it? Only 2 games in, but now it is kind of a new deal because here we are.
Right.
Conference is ready to go.
Well, anytime you get into conference play, and everybody in conference right now is, for most part, that hadn't played a game, is 0-0 in the conference. And so, for us, our goals are still intact, and that's to win the Sun Belt Conference Championship. In order to do that, we're going to have to get off to a great start. This conference, once again, is deep. It's got a lot of parity throughout this conference and a lot of very good teams. And so we need to get off to a good start and this weekend.
A little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde start for South Alabama. They beat Mississippi State and don't score an offensive touchdown. How do you compare
Yeah.
that?
You know what? That was a little bit surprising, to say the least, after that win on the road. But, it's hard in college football, no matter who you're playing. And you look across the board every week, and you know they'll bounce back. But Georgia Southern now has got an outstanding team in itself, so they had a tough schedule early, right out of the blocks, and I would have bet if you'd have asked them a month ago if they would could live with being 1-1 after those 2 games, we probably all could. You know what I'm saying? So they're probably still right where they really thought they could be at that point with that type of schedule early. They've got a tough schedule early.
What types of problems does Everett kind of present to your defense, specifically schematically?
Matchup issues. You take a 6'5" kid and you put him in space against guys not as big as he is. It's hard to cover those big guys, especially if you've got smaller guys, safeties or corners, and when they flex him out, put him in space and those things. So he's tough to get around. He's a big guy. He's got a great vertical leap, long arms. There's a reason why he's a top prospect.
Does that lend maybe to Tracy? Maybe we mentioned just the size?
Well, Tracy, if we had anybody on our team that could match up somewhat, it would be Tracy. He's not as strong or as physical as Gerald, but Tracy's long. He's experienced, and so some of those guys in the secondary are going to have to do a great job. They're going to have their hands full.
This is the first time you really played the team. First 2 teams tried to run the ball a good bit. South Alabama not so much through their first 2 games, pretty much airing it out. Do you approach this a little differently with a sort of new defensive look?
Well, we're still early in the game planning part of it right now. We're just now getting started the last day and a half on the film of South Alabama. And so as the week goes, we're going to have to find a way to slow those guys down because they can put up some points when they get hot.
Coach, do you see the running back depth being very different 5 or 6 weeks from now and how it's being now? I mean, there's some bright spots in there.
Yeah. It really is. We've got some depth at running back that we've not always had. Not just we've always had a 1 and a 2, but we really feel like right now we've got a 3 and a 4 if we ever need that type of depth. I was talking to Marcus Lovings about, hey, I'd like to get Raymond on the field a little more, give him a little more opportunity. He said, okay, who do you want to take off the field? You want to take Elijah, take him out of the game. You want to take Jordan Wright, take him out of the game. So we got some guys that are really playing well, but he's a guy that could really get into the mix as the season goes along. And then we got some, the other backs have played well too. Darius Hoggins has played well and has had a good first 2 games too. So we've got some quality depth there. But Raymond Calais is showing that he's going to be that big kick return he had in the 3rd quarter really sparked our team. And when we got up 2 scores, we're driving with a chance to go up 3rd score, lightning strike hits, and we really lost all that momentum. But not to change the subject, he's going to be a good player.
How encouraging was it for you to see Calais drop his shoulder on somebody?
Yeah.
Marcus Bradley got his first
Hey,
touchdown.
don't let that little guy fool you now, okay? That old saying, dynamite comes in small packages, is sort of true. He's a powerful little guy that can take it around the edge too. So I've been real impressed with him, and I've been talking about him most of camp, and there we saw it right there on the game field.
After looking at the film, tempo, kind of where you want it?
You know what? Not bad. Yeah, not bad. Tempo, and matter of fact, we felt like we wore them down pretty good with the tempo. And we thought that was a factor in the game with the tempo and with their defensive line. Going into the game, all we heard and all we had talked about with our guys, with Isaiah Golden, their defensive tackle, who was one of the probably most highly thought of D tackles in the country, from Texas A&M. And I thought Eddie Gordon had a great night. I thought he played physical, and I thought both guards, and he really wasn't a factor. So, but I got to give credit to our guys. They took a lot of pride in that because nobody was talking about them. Everybody's talking about their D line, and they took that to heart a little bit.
With as much youth as you have on the offensive line and as fast as you're playing, does those 2 things kind of go together when you talk about the number of penalties you've had on the offensive line so far?
Maybe a little bit, because they've got a lot of information to process in a short period of time. So that's a pretty good analogy, Jay. You've got 2 freshman guards. They get the call, they get the snap count, they get down, fix to snap the ball, defenses move, change defenses, linebacker walks up, he walks back. There's a lot to process. The offensive lineman these days in college football next to the quarterback is the hardest position, period. It may be even harder than quarterback in some positions. because it's so many schemes that you have to learn what to do, and then so many different defenses you have to learn to block, and that could be a little issue. But we did cut down on some of it, and hopefully we'll continue. That's one thing we addressed with the team is penalty-wise, we're way above where we want to be penalty-wise. And a couple of the penalties, you know, it is what it is. Whether you agree or not, whether it was or weren't, they were still called, and we've got to minimize those and get those down.
Coach, you talked about winning such an emotional game last week, and you come into this game. Is there a sense that you need to make sure these guys stay on the even keel and realize, hey, it's a peaks and valleys, they'll stay.
Yeah, you know what though? I think that win was just a shot in the arm. You know, they needed a little confidence. They needed to feel the victory locker room. There's nothing like a victory locker room. So that was a great shot in the arm for those guys. And now I think they're encouraged with what they saw defensively, because on the defense side ball, we set the edge. We didn't give up the big plays at all. You know, we really did a good job of keeping them in front. We got pressure on the quarterback at times, and that was just for 4 practices. We really feel like, you know, we can build on that. Is it a finished product? Will it be next week? Absolutely not. You know, it's going to take time, but I thought it was much improved, and hopefully we can keep playing with that passion. I thought we played harder than them. I thought we played with a lot of passion, and I was proud of the way the kids performed.
Defensively, was your scheme maybe a little simplified due to the new defense, and it will be that way until you kind of get everything installed?
Yeah, good point. Defensively, we were very vanilla, just for the fact that you can't put too much in too quick. Some of the stuff will evolve. Some of the more things that we'll be doing will evolve, coverage-wise, front-wise, those type of things. But for the first game, we didn't want to do too much and slow the kids down mentally, where they're processing too much information before they're reacting and chasing the ball. And I thought it was a pretty good, even balance with the defense, what the defensive staff asked them to do.
Besides the use of Everett, what does South Alabama do most effectively against Mississippi State?
Well, they threw the ball. They threw the ball effectively, and main thing they did against Mississippi State too is they played good defense, and that's where they basically won the game. Played good defense, managed the game, moved the ball down the field, and got the ball to that big tight end. But the quarterback made some heck of a throws. You know, they can throw the football, and they threw the ball well. Oh yeah, because you're watching that game this morning, and Georgia Southern came in, and they're still running triple option every different way that you can possibly think of running it. But that's another bridge to cross at a later time.
You just throw that film out for what you guys
Yeah, we run a little read option, so some of the things will help us, no question. Some of that we'll be able to take from, because we do, run the read option. We scored on it on the goal line this past week, and some of their formations are similar, and so we will get a little bit out of that. That's for sure, but not everything.
Does Fusway go back inside now?
No, he's going to stay. He's going to stay outside. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you tried to give Jared Johnson a little taste of action. Where's he at in terms of his reps?
Yeah, he needs to get some more reps. I told Coach Daz we need to increase his reps a little bit, and can't just throw him in on the goal line and throw a jump ball to him every time. He's got to play. They might know that's coming if we just do that. So we got to put him on the field a little bit more and get him more involved. He's getting back healthy again, which I think he's pretty healthy now. But he's a big target. We sort of underthrew it a little bit, and he sort of didn't run a great route on that one we threw to him. But he'll get better. He's done that an awful lot. He's a veteran, and so but we need to get him more involved.
Davis, quarterback for South Alabama, what type of challenges is he presenting? Last year they had kind of more of a pocket passer. Is he more of a dual threat?
No, he's a thrower. You know what I'm saying? And he can still scramble, get him out of trouble, but he can sling. He's got a strong arm, very accurate arm, throws a catchable ball, and boy, he plays with a lot of emotion too. You watch the TV version of the game. That guy against Mississippi State is just willing their team down the field. So I was impressed with him.
The number of guys you played on defense, they ran 88 plays. Was that by design or necessity?
No, we want to be at 88. That was what was, the flip side of this. We're a tempo team. They're not a tempo team. We had 61 plays, I think. They had 88. Even though we bent, I told our defense, we sort of had that look of bend but don't break. We didn't give up any big plays, but, they kept dinking and dunking it. and they kept moving the chains until they got in the red zone, and we would stiffen our backs a little bit and come away with a big stop, and we got the big turnover. But we've got to get off the field much sooner. They converted a 3rd down and 18, I think, and they converted a 3rd and 9. They converted a couple of long 3rd downs where we should have gotten off the field, and that would have made it even better.
Coach, what do you think the reason is the last 4 home field advantage type thing? Why have the teams won at home?
You know, I don't know. Good question. But, you know, playing at home is a big advantage, you know, throughout college football. And you know, that's the way this series has gone. And we play well at home, so hopefully we can keep that up and keep that streak going. But they're an outstanding team.
Hey, Coach, Elijah McGuire, he's now number 2 on the all-time career rushing list. How excited are you for him?
Oh, extremely. The guy is not only a great player, which we know that, it's just you love seeing great kids that do the right thing, that represent the university community in such a way that makes everybody proud. You love seeing those guys succeed, and he'll go down as one of the best that's ever played here. And think about it, you know, this kid's got a lot of football left to be played, so that's why I know these fans want to get out and come say that they saw Elijah McGuire, and they bring their kids, and these kids can talk about Elijah like the adults now talked about the former players, Jake Delhomme, and, you know, everybody, they say, man, I remember when I was a little kid, and I was there when Jake Delhomme was a player, and Brandon Stokely's, and you know, they can say that Tyrell Finroy, I was there when he did this, and I saw him play when I was little. So I hope they'll come out and really support this kid and our team.
He didn't say boom sauce when he broke the rush, or when he moved up.
He didn't give it to you.
What did he do to see that Ringo played his first game yesterday?
Yeah, you know, I didn't see it. I heard that he got a tackle or a sack. Which one? Tackle for loss. Man, I was excited for him. Just not surprisingly, great kid that works hard, that does the right thing, and there he is, you know, making plays and getting opportunities.
Everybody good?
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.